What's up? This is Draco.
And this is Alicia.
And you're now tuned in to OD
OD
Podcast.
Podcast. Period.
But anyway, I'm here and I'm queer. Yeah.
I'm still here.
Hey,
Here.
that's
All
me
right.
on Twitter today. I'm still here, boo.
I know, right?
It's some drama.
Man, when I tell you I have had the wildest, I can't even say 7 days. Every week is something, right? But this last week, you know what makes me think about, and I hate, I never ever ever want to come off as like cocky or self-centered, but I made a remark on this show maybe a couple episodes ago and said that I don't have a lot of problems, and I don't have a lot of problems, but I
Okay.
right now I have a lot of problems.
Oh
If
my
that makes
God.
sense. And I think when I said that, I was like, I don't know if that's gonna be received well because I don't mean any ill intentions. Because obviously nobody's life is perfect, but I feel like I have a disciplined, strong approach on life that helps eliminate issues. But everything I'm dealing with right now is literally out of my control. But good God Almighty, why is it all happening at the
Okay.
same time?
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's with everybody. I think that even with me, the problems that I'm having right now, I haven't had since 2013 or 14. So
you
it's
know what? Same.
I don't know what's going on in the air,
TBH.
but I'm really trying to deal with it with a smile, even though I'm very fucking annoyed about it. But honestly, it's not much that I can do, but just kind of do what I can. Um, but yeah, I feel the
Yeah,
same way.
same. Actually, it was 2014. December 13th, 2014 was the last time I had to deal with this. And yeah, y'all, listen. I don't even know what to say because I don't want to talk about it, but it's a lot going on. Let's just say that. Just
I feel
many
you.
people's. But so yeah, I just been kind of stressed out. I have enrolled back in therapy to kind of help me with the situation that I'm dealing with. And it's a different therapist this time. I went to a counselor this time instead of a psychiatrist because this is not like something that I needed a diagnosis on like I did before. But I just need somebody to talk me through some stuff, and I don't even know if they can help because I know what the problem is. But the impact that it's had on me this week, I haven't even been able to focus. It's kind of like you know, when you realize something after a long time, pieces start coming together, and you be like, good God Almighty. And that's what I'm
You
feeling.
put two and two together and got 63, and now you're
Yes.
shook.
And it's crazy because it was always there. I just didn't have the know
hmm
how. It actually took somebody else to say it. And I'm like, oh,
hmm That's how it be though.
yeah,
And
no,
the
you're
thing
right.
about it is, I think my problem is I never. It's not that I don't feel comfortable talking to my friends or my peers about my problems. I just feel like they don't have the right solutions. So I would think
Yeah.
that a professional may be the best route. So I actually think that that's good that you're doing that because for me, I just be like, child, whatever, because I feel like that this person's advice is bullshit. Like I don't want to. Most of the time, I'm just being honest, and I tell my friends that all the time. I'm like, there's no point in me sitting here trying to explain to you my problems when I know that the answer is going to be, oh dang, that's so crazy.
Yeah, and if I
You know
see,
what
and
I'm
that's
saying? And
why,
I'm just
yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying, and but also sometimes, and that's why I try to limit sharing some personal details, because I mean, obviously, you know, and there's maybe like two other people that might, well, more than two because of proximity, but I think that sometimes that's why it's not even it's not even helpful to even share certain stuff with certain people because even though you may not necessarily need their help or want their help, you just want to vent, but their response of "dang, that's crazy" can make it worse because now I want to fight.
it's because
But
it almost feels as if I just wasted my time. Like what was the point? It's almost like I just told you just so you can know my business. And
yeah, so I think that people, and I think what happens is people get they feel not people like, how you doing today? You supposed to say, I'm good, how you doing? Are you good? But if you really be like, girl, let me tell you something, I'm behind on rent, my foot gotta get amputated, I just got back from Vietnam, my kid threw up her
okay,
booty. And it's like,
okay.
dang, I can't do nothing about none of that. But what should I say? Should I be like, dang, I think the appropriate thing is to like align with their feelings. Like, man, I can only imagine how that feels. You know, Is there anything I can do to help? You know, even if the answer is no, maybe you can take my trash out for me or something. Just less and low. But I think that people be
Yeah.
kind of caught off guard by whatever the issue is. And dang, that's number one. Dang, that's crazy is a sign of you don't care for real. But if you, I feel like you can kind of tell if somebody just don't know what to say. It's just a difference, I guess. But yeah, the situation I'm dealing with, and honestly, in therapy, I'm just hoping to kind of rationalize it. I honestly want help on behalf of the person that the issue is coming from, and I don't really know how to approach it before this situation gets worse than it is. But yeah, we're gonna see y'all next week. I think it's on the 31st that I meet with my therapist, and if all goes well, I'll shout her out. But we'll see.
This is. Are you meeting with her in person or is this virtual like last
No,
time?
virtually. I'm not. I ain't finna do
I feel
all
it.
that now. You know what I'm saying? Look at me in my eyes through my camera. Yeah, I mean, I went to
No.
therapy in person a couple times, but I honestly, truly didn't see the difference of a benefit. I benefited extremely well when I went to my psychiatrist virtually. I mean, she actually cured me through a camera, so you know.
Yeah.
But so let's get into the black business of the week, y'all. All right, so it's tax season, and I don't know about y'all, but at least for me, especially as a business owner, and even before I was a business owner, I always just had a bunch of documents. I had a bunch of documents because I had a bunch of jobs, and it was like all over the place. And so it's always helpful to be able to go to somebody that can keep those things organized. You know, make sure you are providing everything that you need without having to go back and make any changes, et cetera, et cetera. Well, this year will be the first tax season that I am a landlord, and Lord have mercy, y'all. I have invested a lot of money into my rental property, and so this is the time of the year where I will get an exemption or a deduction for those items. And so basically, y'all, if you didn't already know, the way tax write-offs work, it's not like a one-for-one refund, which I think is a huge misconception. But basically, it exempts me from paying taxes on a certain amount. So I'll make it like this. Let's say I made $50,000 last year altogether, but I spent $10,000 in my business. They're gonna basically the IRS is gonna say, okay, you made 50,000, but you lost 10,000 because you had to put it into your business. We're gonna deduct that amount from that 50,000, which leaves you with 40,000, and you're only gonna have to pay taxes on that $40,000. So in a perfect world, I mean, as a business owner, you kind of want to break even. You just don't want to owe. There could be some cases where you get some money back. When that, in that case, you probably spent a whole lot of money, and you probably ain't got much cash yourself. But anyhow, this year I from repairs to like estimates and inspections, and I spent a lot of money on equipment for my rental property just to prepare it to have my tenants to move in. And then things that have happened over time. But y'all seeing those numbers in my face made me want to pull my hair up from the roots. But anyway,
Oh,
the
I
reason
already
why this
know.
is important is because I've been going to my tax lady for several years now. She happens to actually be a friend of mine. We've had her on the show before, but I wanted to shout her out again because she has made things a lot easier for me over the years. And I do think at some point I'm gonna have to transition over to a CPA because I need like year round support with my business just to have proper planning so I'm not caught up doing what I'm doing now with and thank God I'm good with Excel and I'm organized and things like that because I really can't imagine not having those skills this time of year. Yeah, it's a lot. But anyway, without further ado, I want to acknowledge Brittany Wilder from WFA Taxes and Financial Advisory. Her Instagram is WFA underscore LLC. She is trustworthy. She's very cool, very much from the West Side, very educated,
Come
and she
on.
this is something she. I mean, I probably met Brittany in I want to say around 2011, 12 ish. We were both in college at the time. But yeah, so she has been very helpful. I mean, she sends me every year. She'll send me my list of things to look out for. So this year, because I'm a first time landlord, she sent me a sheet of like legal tax deductions for a property, things like insurance or security or repairs or whatever. Even the mileage that I spend to commute from my home to the rental property, like that is a business trip. And so yeah, anyway, y'all, Brittany has been very helpful with that. And it's gonna be sad when I have to move on to a CPA. But I ain't gonna problem sending her over to y'all. Her website is wildersfinancial.com. And as always, everything can be found in the episode notes. I do meet with her virtually. And that's working for me. I don't see why I need to see her in person. Can I get my check or no? I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, you are the virtual queen.
Yes, let me say something. It's awkward being the only person in the room with a mask. So let's just be behind the computer because I'm. I'm gonna be. But no, but even before the COVID, I work with Brittany virtually because in reality, I just send her what I need. But I'm also really good with explaining, like breaking down details. So I'll send her, I'll organize it on a folder or like an Excel sheet with like a legend or a key, and she'll know what to do from there. But y'all, I have so much stuff this year, man. I'm actually kind of nervous because I worked two full time jobs at the same time last year. I don't know if I ever talked
Yeah.
about that on the show, but I did do that. And the problem there is when you work a job, you are taxed based off how much you make at that job. But
Okay.
when you work two jobs, you are only so basically you're only so those two jobs I had, each job was being taxed individually. However, at the end of the year, when I calculate all the money I made, that changes my tax bracket. So now I wasn't being properly taxed because each job was taxing me because they thought that that's all I was making. And so now
Oh
when all that
yeah.
money comes together, they recalculate and then I'm probably gonna owe. And I'm expecting to owe. It's not, it is what it is. Not that it's not a problem. It is what it is, but I just have to be better with if I ever did that again, which I probably won't. I'll just need to be more detailed on my whatever the little tax sheet is when you first get hired, just so I can make sure I don't owe too much at the end. All I want is at least to break even. And if I gotta pay, Lord, just let it be $2.
$10. Yeah,
But
that.
thankfully this year I did have a business credit card, business checking account, so it was a lot easier to keep all my expenses organized. Also, my income from my business also goes to that account, so it wasn't really hard to separate the two. But yeah, so we're gonna see. And for all my people that work from home, please be advised that your home does qualify as office space. There are specific calculations that the federal government allows you to deduct, but you need to consider that things that are necessary to work your job, like your Wi-Fi, like computer equipment, and things like that. Like it's impossible to work from home if you don't have those things. So those are considered work expenses, and you can absolutely claim them. Just so you
Let
know.
them know, boo.
Hello, somebody. All right, let's move on to tweets from the streets. I deleted Twitter off my phone because
I
I
did
had
it.
such a terrible week that
I did it.
Twitter ignorance was bothering me. But Draco came across a thread, and I think he wants to chit chat about it.
Sure do. So I don't even know where to start. So I've been seeing on TikTok and Instagram that a lot of well, a few black well-known influencers were getting like canceled for saying very colorist things in the past. Okay, um, so at first I saw one person, right,
Hmm.
and um, it was Tariq Ali. I mean, whatever. The internet already done seen
I
anyway, so I
didn't
could
know
say their
most
name.
of them people on there. I can't
So
even lie.
Tariq Ali had already been canceled for this before, right?
Hmm.
But he was literally 10 years old, and and
I think I know
yeah,
what
he
you're
was
talking about. He made
yeah
a
he was like
tweet about people judging and people disused him. Was he really 10 though?
yeah he's young, so he had to be like 12, 11, 12. He wasn't that old.
Mm.
And so for me, I excuse that because I know that when we were kids and
Whew.
when we were younger, not me per se,
Oh,
but
me
just
for sure.
our peers around, they they definitely would call people that's dark skinned like burnt biscuit, da da da. You know what I'm saying? That we didn't have Twitter when we were in
I'm
middle school
certain
and
I
elementary
probably said
school.
that to somebody. I'm pretty sure I called somebody a tar baby.
You see what I'm
But
saying?
I wasn't
So
colorist. I just was roasting. I was a kid. I get what you're saying. I did
yes,
see those, but I had no idea that the guy was that young. This is why
yeah.
kids don't belong on social media. Cause what you doing with a Twitter?
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, for me, I'm not getting on online apologizing for something that I said when I was 10 and I'm 25 or I'm 20, whatever. Like I'm not doing that. Especially if I'm in a different space. Like I was
Did he
literally a
delete the tweets
kid.
or did people pull up screenshots?
They put up screenshots because he's gotten canceled many a times because of this.
Got it.
And so
Yeah. Well.
randomly his friend, this is how I came across this thread. One of his friends got called out as well. And so I'm like, what is going on? So then I get on Twitter and there is a page called Pro Honest, the truth speaker. And the bio says, before you get banned, get educated. And basically, what they're doing is they're pulling up um, interviews. Are you typing something,
Yeah,
or
I'm
am I
putting
tripping?
notes from the Yeah, what it look like?
Oh, I hear it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's because of AirPods.
Wow.
I ain't.
No, that's crazy that you can hear it because I have on headphones and I can't even hear my. Wow. Okay, go ahead. I'm not. I'm good.
I'm like, what's that? I was just trying to make sure that it wasn't my
That's
headphones
crazy
clicking.
that you could hear it though. I'm trying to even understand how it's picking it up because my keyboard. Okay. Anyhow, I'm not touching it.
It's just sensitive.
That's so
So
crazy. Technology's cool.
so so I went on the page and basically they're finding like interviews and um old tweets and all type of stuff from people who are popular that are black and gay, and they're pulling them up and just calling them out on their old stuff. Now a lot of them, it wasn't that long ago. They
Yeah.
said this stuff when they was an adult. Now, that still doesn't excuse people or exclude people from learning and changing. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I literally have, I literally find out or just come across information and I learn something and it'll switch my mindset almost immediately. I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? That's not cool. I can change that about myself. So I always give people a little leeway, as my mom used to say, a little leeway on that. But I will say that it's not surprising to me to see all these tweets coming from the black gay community just because of how pretentious it is, and I can speak on that from experience. I've always felt I've always felt kind of ostracized. Not now, just because I've grown into it, but I remember first just coming out and going to gay clubs and all that sort of stuff, and I always was different because I looked different as far as like the way that I dressed. I always been the type of person, even when I was a kid, that I just never wanted to dress or look like everybody else. Like I
Hmm.
can legit remember in sixth grade, I went to Greenbrier Mall, caught the bus by myself. Um, that's actually dangerous. But I
Child,
caught the
me too.
bus by
Looking back, I wouldn't even do it at my big age today. I can't believe
yeah.
this.
I caught the bus to Greenbrier and I saw some bucket hats, and I like the bucket hats, but at the
Hmm.
same time I'm like I need to do something different because that was like during the bucket hat era.
Hmm.
I cut the hole in the top. I ain't even had no hair. Why would I do that? But it was just because I didn't want to look like everybody else, so I cut a hole in
I
the
don't remember
top
that.
of
That's
it and just
crazy because
wore it.
people do that when they got locks now. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I ain't have no hair. So I don't know why I did that, but I just said that I use that example to say that I've always been like that,
Hmm.
and so being in this space, I've experienced so much when it comes to just appearance. You have to look a certain way, especially if you want boys to like you, if you want to be included in the crowd. You have to wear certain clothes. You have to be a certain size. Like the black community had like and this is why I always say I'm kind of more comfortable around straight people than gay people, black gay
Gang,
people.
gang.
And because the straight community it has become like way more accepting of like different body types and different types of people, like all that. In the gay community, we still have fat shaming, especially in the black gay community. Fat shaming is still a thing.
Well,
You
it's
ain't light
definitely.
skin. If you dark skin, you gotta have a nice body. You gotta have nice teeth. Like the pressure is getting worse.
I do think from an outsider looking in, I do think that the male gay community at least is definitely into like the perfect look. Like they have,
Yeah,
like you kind of got to be cut or muscular or you got to be like slim. It's like a thing. I
you
get
have
it.
to wear certain things, and
Hmm.
then like it's even worse when you get to like the corporate gays because they looking down on anybody because typically black gay men or gay men in general, they normally work in like
The call centers.
fashion or
Oh.
beauty or sometimes call centers, but for the
Hmm.
most part, it's always something like dealing with entertainment, right?
Okay.
And of
Okay.
course, I'm gonna take offense to that because that's what that's. what I do. I'm a makeup
Hmm.
artist full time. So a lot of times people that work for these big companies and work for, corporate jobs and all this other stuff, they look down on people like that because they're like, oh, that they're just so they're hood rats and they wear this type of stuff and you know they could never be invited to these things like
Dang, it's
all these
like it's like
tattoos.
class within a class, like we do our own people.
Literally. So imagine that twice because you're doing it for black people and gay people. This is weird. So I kind of I was very entertained by this thread, I will say, just because a lot of those people I really didn't know. It's people that I know personally that I saw on there, and I'm like, really, you said that before? Because what was going on was people were trying to call the page out, like, oh, what's your purpose of doing this, and da 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 da. And then when they say that, they'll pull up their tweets, and I'm like, hold on, stop there, buddy. And I was like, oh, they got you, they got you,
Oh,
they got
see, the thing about it, if you're gonna
you.
call somebody out, you got to be ready to stand on it, back it up, and make sure your plate
Yes.
clean too. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Now let me ask you this: do you feel like, this might sound ignorant or foolish, but I genuinely want to know. People can say things that are colorist or ignorant, but does that make them colorist? Like, does the
Um.
buck stop? Because I feel like people, I don't know. I
So
honestly,
let me. I think it's just the context
yeah,
because
true, 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 true.
for me, I'm speaking for myself and my friends. I have a different type of humor,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
Me too,
Um,
child. I
I
know.
know that a lot of the stuff that I say out of my mouth sometimes, like I don't say anything detrimental. Like I don't use like slur words or whatever like that. But I know that some of the stuff I say, if I were to say that in front of a public audience or around just random people, I would probably get looked at like, "Bitch, what? Why
Hmm.
would you say that?" Um, but I think these are just really rooted in something else. It like this one guy I follow. I follow him because he's a pole dancer, but he's like so clean with it. They put him up there, and he posted and said, "You ugly black niggas around here looking like Barney, purple as shit."
Not
Mm,
dinosaurs. That's fly to be a
I
dinosaur, to be honest.
he said, "I hate black people, these bitches,"
Oh my
and then he
god.
said,
Okay.
"No." He said, "No, it's not racist that I don't really date black guys. It's called having a preference. Y'all swear everybody is racist."
That's always wild to me when you black yourself. How long ago did he say that?
It don't have the date on here, but just to even know that,
I can't lie, I
first of
never
all,
felt that way. I
me
just
either.
that's
That's
crazy.
what you see. What I'm saying? Like
It's like it makes
it's
me
the
want to.
context.
Yeah, I
So
agree with
some of this
you.
stuff I'm gonna be looking side eye
The
to.
only
Like
time I
what?
can see why somebody would think that way, and this is not okay, but if they're raised outside of their own community, if they're not around any black influence, and not saying that it's influence per se, but to see your identity in the person you're attracted to is to see beauty. So, what do you feel about yourself? Like, do you think that you're the one? You're the chosen black? Like, I don't understand what that means. I have never, even when I was young, I never wanted to date outside my race. Like, it just was not a thing. But to say that it's a preference to not date yourself. What you think about your daddy and your mama? Like Jesus. And maybe they don't like each other. Maybe that's the problem. Don't know. My parents don't like each other either,
Yeah.
but that never stopped me.
So the conversation, I feel like the conversation was brought up because of that new show that just premiered on MTV called Real Friends of WeHo.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen it.
And so basically Todrick is on there, Karamo is on there, and it's being brought up because that it's a certain type of black gay that's on that show and that a lot of people can't relate to.
I mean, I
And
feel
a
like
lot of
both of them really. I mean, I don't know. I can't say Karamo, but Todrick is definitely not leaning. Like he's really more famous outside of the black community than he is inside of
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Now it's white people on the show too,
Okay.
but um yeah, so they've been getting a lot of backlash, Karamo and Todrick, of course, more so Todrick because he keeps responding to it and digging himself into a deeper hole. But that's how the conversation kind of came up because everybody's just like, this is not anything that we can relate to. Every time it's a show like this, it's never like it's always the white boys that date black. I mean, the black boys that date white boys. It's never like black couple. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
get what you're saying. Yeah, it's kind of like Real Housewives of New York. They feel like, New York is so black, or it has such a large black population, but there was no representation on the show, and they brought somebody, but I mean, she kind of, it was a little different. I'll
who
say
was
that.
on there? I don't watch the show, so
Ebony
I
K.
wasn't.
Williams. She's cool, but to me, she came on that show with an agenda to make everybody uncomfortable about being white. They didn't really have somebody that
Um,
was already like she had on a Black Lives Matter hoodie, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get it twisted, but everything was about race instead of it. It just was not a good match. Like, they didn't even have a reunion for that season, and she got like
oh wow,
yeah, she actually was doing too much. I'm not gonna lie to you. I only saw a few episodes, so drag me if you wish. I have
yeah.
followed her way before she was on that show. And I listened to her podcast, Holding Court with Ebony K. Williams and Dustin Ross. She's very smart, very beautiful, but I definitely think
Why do I
she's
know this lady?
I don't know, maybe she used to be an attorney. Well, she probably still holds that title. I don't want to take that away from her. I think if you pass the bar, you're technically a lawyer. But she's really smart. And one thing I like about Ebony is so her podcast is around pop culture and law. So anytime a celebrity or anybody like a public figure is involved with something legal, she breaks it down on how the law might work in their favor. It's actually really interesting because I think a lot of times we talk about things based on opinion and emotion and not about legal facts. And we can use the Megan and Tory case for example. You know what I'm saying? So she always
Hmm.
talks about like what can happen, why something actually is justified, even though we don't like it. It's really cool. But yeah, I think she definitely came on that show with a plan to dethrone the whites. Hey, it worked, I guess.
I think I really I do feel like some of that stuff on that page was OD. I will say that,
I like
but
the
I do,
podcast.
yeah. It was a lot. Like I'm like, okay, now you're just doing a lot, but I am kind of glad that somebody brought this to light because it's a problem, and especially in California and LA because first of all, black people are already a minority, but I do
Super
feel like
minority. I was shocked.
yeah, black people are already at a minority out here, and the black people that are out here are just very superficial because they're trying to keep up with the whites and keep up with people who they feel are better than that. So
Hmm.
anybody that's more urban or whatever, they kind of side eye them, or they just kind of like ill, like what, like, and it's so obvious. Like even this past week on Sunday, I went out with my friends and I did not have a good time. I went out on Thursday, had an amazing time, and so the promoter for that event throws another party, literally at a bar that's like 5 buildings down from that in West Hollywood on Sunday. So I went with my friends or whatever, and I just didn't really enjoy it at all. It's 2 people that I know from social media that every time I see them out, and in my head, I'm like, is this just a Southern thing? Like when you see people that if y'all follow each other, y'all speak on social media, yeah, I comment on their stuff, support them, and then when you see them in public, of course I'm gonna speak to you like, oh my God, hey,
Right.
how are you? This is literally the response I get. They just stare back at me like,
Why do people? I hear about that a lot. Why do people do that? They think they have fans, and if you have fans, you still gotta treat them like humans.
and I'm just like, what is that? And that has happened to me on 4 different
I've
occasions
seen a
with
lot of
four
people
different
post
people.
about that. Yeah, I don't. I genuinely don't understand. Like, don't say you don't recognize me because people definitely know who they follow. Like, let's not play.
I just don't get it. Like I don't understand like what that is. So I don't know. And I noticed that if I see some like one of my friends is like I hang out with some really attractive people. I mean,
I know
whatever. I
that's
know,
right. That
but
girl.
it'll be like one of my friends, and they'll be like 6'4" and got a little buffness to them.
Hmm.
They'll flock over there because of how they look, and they'll offer them opportunities and stuff because of how they look. So that's why out here, if you see a lot of people getting these surgeries and getting, everybody's in shape, everybody is doing this, and I moved here for that reason to get in shape and to make sure I'm looking good or whatever. But I'm not doing this to try to fit in no circle
Yeah.
or fit in or be around
That's
people.
so
Like I could care
superficial. And
less.
that's why people be having drama in their friend circles because they be connecting over the wrong things, like Erica Banks,
Yeah.
wanting everybody to have a BBL to be in her section.
You see what I'm saying? It gives that out here.
Yeah.
And then it also gives like I don't know. Like for me, I feel like a lot of times people flock to, like when I go out, you would think that I'm a fucking piece of meat. And it's because first of all, I'm new. I don't go out that much. Like
Fresh
I
meat.
go yeah, I'm still kind of new here and I don't go to West Hollywood that much. West Hollywood is like the gay area. I don't go out there that much. But when I do go out there, everybody is just like pulling and grabbing at me, and it makes me feel uncomfortable because, in a way, I'm like, okay, they think I'm attractive, whatever, but they think I'm attractive for the wrong reason. Like these people, these non-black people are just after me just because they think that it's giving. They see a big black dude. I have tattoos all over my
I
body and my
hate
face.
that.
I dress nice. I have locks. They like, oh, I want to sleep with him, or I want him. You know what I'm saying? It will look
It
good
seems
to
like
them.
a
It's
very
like a
sexually
fetish.
driven city. I can't lie. I feel like it's always been that way though.
All
Like
the industry is like that in
Baywatch and
general.
all that stuff. Yeah, it's just like, and maybe not Baywatch. Was Baywatch in the Bay? Who knows? But
It
but
was
that's
shot out
actually
here.
sad though. You know what? I trying to find decent humans is really hard. It only gets
It
harder
really
by the
is.
day.
And I'm not getting discouraged because I know they out there, and I have found like a group of people out here who I'm comfortable with, who I like hanging out with, who shares similar things that I do. It's so many people that I feel like I would click well with, and we are supposed to hang out, but we all just be living our life and doing different
Well,
stuff.
that's the
But
best kind because I don't like feeling like I gotta be. I know you different in your career, but I don't like needy friends. And by needy, I just mean like gotta be doing this,
me
gotta be
either.
doing
Oh
that.
my
I'd rather
gosh,
go out to
I
eat every
hate that.
quarter. Not even every quarter. I got some friends. We text. We got a little group chat. We check in. We'll update. We'll send news articles, and then we might treat each other for each other's birthday. That'd be it. And that's not. I prefer that because I got a lot of other friends that I have to pay attention to. I got relatives, loved ones, and all that. And I just hate feeling like I gotta be doing stuff just to make sure I can have friends. It's just too much.
I feel I'm that type of way too, and I feel like I have to make a disclaimer now, because I keep having this situation where my friends are feeling offended, or not even my friends, just like certain people are feeling offended because I'm not available as much. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
talk as much. I'm not like I text people, but I be on social media more than I be texting people. So
Cause
sometimes
it's
I
easier. You
just
don't gotta really. You can just be looking on social media. You can actually be like, there's. You know how people be like, how you on social media but you ain't text me back. There's a difference for sure. Like you can wake up, be half asleep, and be scrolling social media. Not that you should be, but it doesn't require any for real effort, and nobody sees you.
It don't. And that's also how I check on people sometimes. So like I'm like, oh, she doing good. Oh, he over there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But I mean,
Hi,
every now and
neighbor,
again I
just
will.
checking
But
on you.
but it's not me to just be wanting to hang out every day, sit at your house every day. I'm not that friend. And I hate saying that out loud because in a way it comes off as like, oh, you're such a bitch. But at the same time, I'm like, that's just not what makes me comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like for one, I don't really know y'all like that. Y'all still new to me. So I'm not gonna want to be under you all the time. Like I did that with my friends back home, but we knew each other for years. So of course I
Yeah,
feel
there's like
comfortable with
something
them.
built off of that. So you know how to move. It makes me wonder when people feel like they gotta be everywhere all the time with everybody. Are they really happy with that, or are they also doing what they think that they're supposed to be doing?
Mm-mm.
It's interesting. I don't know. I don't like it. I love being low key. Now, God forbid I ever lost all my friends. I'm just gonna have to be. It's just gonna be me and Hazel and whatever other dog, cat, and rabbit I bought after that.
Child, you paid the dog this weekend.
I know, y'all. I did not. So update on the dog, y'all. I did not decide to get the rescue the golden doodle. He's just too big. He seems like a sweet dog, and I'm sure he would be great with Hazel. But Hazel is 38 pounds, and this dog was not only 62 pounds, but he's not even done growing yet because he's not even one. And dogs really get to their full size by the 18th month. So, anyways,
Damn.
all right. So this topic of like old tweets and people saying foolish stuff just made me think like, do you ever think about this is the exact thought I had. If I knew exactly who was listening to this podcast, would I change the way I talk or the things I say? You know what I'm saying? Do you think?
Yeah.
Because every time someone tells me they listen to the show, I don't know why I'd be shocked because obviously it's public. But I'd be like, what if somebody that I have a certain innocent, like a relative or somebody, because I got relatives, a lot of my relatives listen to the show, whatever. But certain relatives, if they bring it up, I feel like awkward. I feel like, oh, did they hear what I said, dick? Or did they hear what I said? Something like that. I don't know. I feel a little conscious about it.
I think that's just how we were raised. Like in the South, we were raised to respect our elders and just kind of keep it clean when you're around certain people, whether it's adults in your family or adults in the street. But I think for me, I felt like that up until recently because at the end of like with my sister is the next thing closest to me after my mom.
Hmm.
She low key kind of raised me too, so. I didn't feel comfortable cursing around her for a long time because I still felt like that's my big sister. Like
Which
I
is
felt
crazy
like,
because Tamika ain't filter herself.
yeah, but I always respected that because she been
Yeah,
cursing since I known her. You know what I'm saying? Like since I knew,
I know
since
exactly what
you
you
know,
mean.
since, so it never just like made me feel away. But after a while, I think I had like cursed in front of her or said something. I was just on the phone and she kind of like looked. And I'm like, "What are you looking at me like?" She's like, "I just never
Shocked.
heard you curse
Because you
before.
never broke that barrier
I've
with
never
her.
heard."
Because I'm pretty sure she knew.
No.
I remember the first time I had a sex conversation with my dad, and I was just like, all right, well, here we are.
Yeah,
Now
like
what?
now that my niece has a child, and everybody's
Oh,
getting
that's
older, I
crazy.
think that kind of like softened the blow with everything. So now I just don't care. Like obviously, y'all know that I'm gay. I do what I want. This is a free country. Um, I
Free-ish.
don't. I mean, what do you want to do? Free.
And
Yeah,
we
let's
are
say
very
free ish.
grown, literally going to be 34 years old this year. But I think
Yeah.
in some people's eyes, like even little cousins I have, like I have little cousins with babies were who are my little brother's age. And even though they're near their 30s, it's like, what do you mean you have sex? And I don't care. They can people I want my everybody to feel comfortable around me. But I do think about it sometimes like, dang, this person, what do I sound like to the on the other side? I don't care because my personality is the same regardless, but I do think I'm a lot more comfortable on a podcast. Number one, because I'm talking to you. Number two, there's not nobody literally watching me. So I'm just saying, whatever I want, all willy nilly. But even on social media, I always feel like I'm like, I don't ever post anything crazy, but if I ever wanted to, I'm like, oh, I don't want to. Because, I think what's our parents' generation? What's that? Generation X? They don't
I
really
wouldn't know.
have uh they respond to everything on social media, if that makes sense. Like they don't ever just tap and go. They gotta like engage, and that sounds so crazy out loud. But like for example, you can post a status. Man, work drained me. Today drained me. Knowing you quoting Marlo, God said, "Don't let work come
Oh,
before thy
I was
name."
literally about to say that.
It's like, dang, I like, and I'm not gonna reply every time like, hey, this is from. It's just like, just what I'm saying. Keep me in mind, but you ain't gotta. That annoys me. I can't lie, and I can't even blame them because they don't think with the same kind of like maybe comedy or the same consciousness that I have. I don't really know, but that sometimes plays a part on what my captions even say. That's so stupid though. But I just don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with it, so I try to be safe.
It's been plenty of times where like I'll post song lyrics or just something, and it could have nothing to really do with my mood. I just like that line. It was clever. It was witty. I
Yeah.
like that. I'll post it on Facebook as a status or something, or as a caption on a photo. And my auntie, or my quote unquote auntie too, one of my mom's close friends, she done took the place of my aunt who used to comment on everything past during the quarantine. So now she be on my page giving it. She's like, God gonna see you through, baby. Don't worry about it.
Now she
You
probably
you
worried
just
about
pray.
you, and it's like, oh
Yes, and I'm
man.
like, hey, it was a song lyric. I'm fine. Like,
It has happened to me 3 times from 3 different relatives where I have either said something out loud or I'm gonna use this as an example. Oh my god, this person probably will never hear this episode, but one time it was a holiday and we were all praying as a family. They wanted me to pray, and I was like, I don't know how to pray. Oh my God. Next day,
here you
hey,
go.
I know you said you didn't know how to pray, so sometimes you just talk to God. And this is great advice if I genuinely didn't know how to pray. But I was just saying that to be funny because I didn't want the attention to be on me. I didn't want to pray. I didn't. I end up praying, but it was like she didn't mean no harm, but I'm just like, oh my, no, I can't say that one because it was
Did you tell her
inappropriate.
that though? Did you tell her like
I
you was just
did. You know
joking?
who I'm talking about? This person. You know, she got. You can talk to
Yeah,
her any kind of
yeah,
way,
yeah.
but not in a disrespectful way. Not hold up. Not
I know, I
okay,
know,
okay,
I
okay.
know, I know, I
So
know.
I did tell her, and she cool. It's no way, but it's that's the mood that it give on social media. And granted, like I said, I don't post a lot. I don't post any weird stuff, but I still think about it because it's gonna take too many years to get people to think how get those people to think how I'm thinking when I say or do what I do. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Like I
Oh
could
wow.
say room full of haters, but I still saw you, baby. Don't let them haters get to you. Let them make them your motivators.
You know what though? That actually was one of my goals this year. I didn't really do no New Year's resolutions, but I wanted to just stop taking myself so serious. I feel like I kind of overthink things and overcalculate things about what I say and what I do just to make other people feel comfortable. But honestly, you either here or you're not. Um,
Right. I
I just,
agree with you.
you know, and that's family included because it's just like I can't walk around here and not be myself or not
Yep.
feel
Be on
comfortable
eggshells.
expressing myself the way that I want to because of how I feel you're gonna look at me.
No,
I
I
hate
agree
that.
with
Just
you.
like I
Yeah, it's
feel
very
like,
uncomfortable. You're not even being yourself at all. And then, all right, this gonna be a terrible example. I'm sorry, y'all, but you know, watch Real Housewives of Potomac. This is terrible. But Karen used to carry herself a certain way until her mother passed away. She used to carry herself a certain way on the show, but when her mother passed away, she loosened up. And she even said that a
yeah,
part. She feels like she was playing a part because her mother was watching. And it's like Karen is now what 59 years old. She's 5'9". That's what she say. It's like, dang, we just are like you were pretty much living to please her, and that's okay. I understand it's a sign of respect, but also like I just think it's. I mean, I guess it is the discipline we brought up with because you post. You know, it's a lot of kids who cuss around their parents. I would never do that. Granted, I don't even cuss to begin with, but they have a level of comfort though, even though it's a little disrespectful to me, that they can just be themselves freely. But on
yeah,
my from my perspective, I would not talk like that. I would correct myself, or I would code switch, or whatever the case is, or I'd be a little bit more tame as a sign of respect, but then I still feel like I'm like restricting myself. I'm like not even being who I am. So when that person
yeah.
finally
That's
sees
just
me for who I am, now they're shocked. But it's only because I respected them enough to hide that from them. So it's like you just kind of you
yeah.
either go. It's like what side of history you're gonna be on, I guess.
Yeah, I also feel like that has a lot to do with like religion because I
Mm-hmm.
think that naturally we just adopt the religion that our parents gave us or that we learned from our parents or what we grew up doing, which is nothing wrong with that. But
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like some of the things that our parents and grandparents they used to that they were brought up to think that was wrong or whatever, we're kind of moving into a different space where that's not we're not living by those rules no more. We're not living in 1975. It's 2023. So a lot of that
And
stuff
75
obviously
is too
was
recent,
just
more like 65. R.I.P. Martin
yeah, but
King.
I'm just saying even like I don't know, I just feel like a lot of that stuff is just they carry on from their grandparents and parents, which is fine. I get it and I understand it. But I do always encourage people to kind of just do research on your own and look up stuff. And I say this because like even yesterday, Doja Cat was in Paris and
Mm-hmm.
she walked for what show? I can't Schiaparelli. I can't really pronounce the name.
Come on,
She
Chaparral.
Corelli. So so this designer is very gaudy, very gaudy. Everything that they make and I've seen over
Get a
the
little close
last
to the
couple
mic if you
years.
can.
Everything that I've seen for the last couple of years has been very gaudy with them. So this time was no different. And so Doja Cat wore, she decided to get her body painted and covered in
I know it's so
Swarovski
far.
crystals to match her outfit, right? This boy, this is satanic. I don't understand why y'all even. I'm like,
Red, is it because it
I
was
literally
red?
wrote him and said that. Please tell me how it was satanic for her to paint her body red.
Because you're not showing the skin that God used to make Adam and Eve, the dirt.
I just don't. I
Man, we
don't
used to
know.
think we was made out of dirt. Is that true?
I never thought that.
Um,
The only thing that I thought was dirt was God made dirt. Dirt won't hurt. But
put it
I
in the
ain't
Bible,
know
let it
that. I
work.
ain't.
I thought that he built Adam and Eve with dirt. Oh, brother, we got a lot to learn. But go ahead. So, what did he say back to you?
He never responded because I think he knew that it was stupid.
Yeah, now that type of stuff. Lately, man, I've been so
I hate
irritated by
it.
people who
I
just are
hate it.
digging for a problem. Like, it, man. Listen, I'm a. That's gonna
Somebody
sound.
even said one of my friends even was saying like the Beyonce performance was evil
Oh
or the
my
satanic.
god! First of all,
All that water and
people.
fire. I'm like, why do when y'all see water and fire, it make you think of evil?
Dang, but y'all smoking cigarettes and putting them out by the pool. It's
And
giving
sucking
devil.
dick.
Ooh,
That's a
my
sin.
auntie not gonna like
If
that. I'm just playing. Look, and you know, people were trying to say that Beyonce, they were mad at her for performing at a country that was anti-LGBTQ. Let's talk about the states in this country that are anti-LGBT. Should she not perform that either?
come on,
They said
come
Sister
on,
Girl got
somebody.
over $24 million. Not that it's just about the dollar, but
They
let's
corrected it. It's
stop.
34.
Hello,
34
somebody.
million.
It's the issue with selective outrage for real. Like, come
Mm-hmm.
on, all y'all, half of y'all done been to Dubai and knowing that
Yeah.
they homophobic. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not
Yeah.
obviously I'm not homosexual or homosexual. I'm heterosexual, so I don't have a dog in this fight. But I do think that y'all are doing the absolute most, getting mad because she performed in Dubai. Please be for real. Please be effing for real. What you gonna do if she perform at
Um.
the Royal Palace?
Yeah, I don't like the selective outrage either. Just like I think that Boosie is the one who started this thing about um transgender transgender people not liking this Aretha Franklin
You
song
think Boosie started
because
that?
somebody had to. Somebody did that because
There's
there's
like an
no way that you can.
organization that made that claim. It was an actual like a trans, like a trans ally. Like, it's a company. It's like I don't think Boosie.
Boosie is a part of that.
Oh my god, no, I ain't gonna
I
lie to
blame
you.
it,
I was
that is
offended.
insane.
I was offended by it. I'm not gonna lie. So y'all, if you don't already know, allegedly there's a trans representation group that wants Aretha Franklin's Natural Woman song removed from streaming platforms because it offends trans women. It has contributed to transphobic rhetoric, which I'm not gonna lie to y'all. A lot of stuff I respect because I you know, I comply with because I have respect for people. But this is one of those things. I'm offended. I'm offended. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know this might not be the popular thing to say. I'm not even sorry, honestly.
You shouldn't be.
You
This is
make
how
me
you
feel like a
feel,
natural woman. It's like,
baby.
dang, what do I have? Like
Baby.
Jesus.
Here's the thing with that. What's wrong with that? Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't. And then it's an old song. Like, how are you digging back to a song that was made probably before you were even born,
And to say
and
that
you're
that
getting
song
offended?
has caused like transphobic harm, like and this is to me, oh my god, to me this is what happens when you give people a little leeway. And I'm not speaking for the trans community, I'm just saying in general, because even our own black people, they find every little thing to be offended by and to call racist when sometimes it's not. But I think that once you honor one thing, you got other people who want to make themselves fit in, like they want to be like, oh, but I don't like this either. It's like, for example, you know, this gay couple that's been charged for like sexually exploiting their kids, pimping them out, and now people are going to try to
Yeah,
use that to stop gays from having adopting kids, because that really
yeah.
contributed to the stereotype on why people didn't want gay people to adopt kids. So now they're going to try to find ways to, you know, I just feel like people just need to shut up. I mean, not, you see how I'm over here trying to reword what I'm saying, because y'all made
Yeah, no,
everything a
I feel it.
problem.
I feel that though. I feel that. I feel
It's
that. Like
crazy.
I
Like, oh my gosh. Like, I do believe that there's a lot of transphobia. There's a lot of homophobia. There's a lot of racism. But it does not exist in everything. I mean, in a lot of things, but not everything. And I just feel like Aretha Franklin definitely was not being transphobic when she wrote that song. I don't even know if
and she
trans
ain't
was
even
in
here
the
to defend
verbiage.
herself,
Exactly. And to say remove it from streaming platforms, that's crazy. So it's like, what's next? Like, seriously, who run the world, girls? Well, I guess that Beyonce was safe on that one. Never mind. What about I'm
so
every
what is she?
woman? Like I'm just saying, I just feel like where do you draw the line for real? And why can't I feel comfortable speaking up
I
about it?
don't like that. I just yeah, it doesn't make me feel comfortable because if that bothers you, then that's just something wrong with you. No shade, because I mean it's that the song was
Sometimes I
talking
feel
about
like people,
love. That song was literally
yeah,
talking about
it make
love,
me
like
feel like I
how.
have lady parts, and I do. They tingle. Just kidding. All right, sorry, aunties and uncles.
But it's just I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. That kind of made me mad.
Yeah, it made me mad
So
too. And I'm
I,
just like,
you
I
know,
can't even say nothing about it. I don't want to get canceled. But
I
I
ain't
do feel
sticking
like some
beside
people
him.
be busting blood veins they from reaching or pulling a muscle reaching because it's like they go on these like think pieces about everything, man. And that's why I had to get off of Twitter. I just in Instagram next, Facebook right after. Well, Facebook really don't even get nothing from me to be honest with you. But it's just too much. And I don't want to get to a point where I consume so much of this mess that it's impacting how I think. Like now I'm every time I hear that song, I'm gonna think about transphobia. And it should not be
Yeah,
like that. Like Jesus.
I remember one time I had to do this. I was doing that little Mean Girls remake movie thing that I was in.
Oh yeah.
Um, there was a DJ there because they invited extras and stuff because it was supposed to be a house party scene. The DJ had played Sheck West, and everybody was going crazy. Two girls, they were friends, was walking through that. Y'all need to cut this off. He's an abuser.
Oh my
Why would you
God.
play that? Black girls,
Well,
might
I get
I
it. Are you
add.
really gonna kill the mood and make the DJ stop playing the song?
Everybody was just like,
Did they stop?
no.
Th- No, I remember one time though. I can't even lie. At my nephew's middle school graduation, they played R. Kelly. Uh,
Okay.
it's
Now,
I'm the greatest. You know that song. I'm the dun dun dun
okay.
dun dun. And I that song is very inspiring. But I think at that time, the timing was terrible. But I'm not gonna be like, stop singing that. Most
Yeah, I was
people,
just like, dang.
unfortunately, a lot of popular people are violent. So, and not to give them a pass,
All
but
these
it's
people,
like,
not everybody, but and yeah, like you said, not to give them pass, but it's a lot of stuff that y'all don't know. Like these people are not who y'all think they are just because it
yeah,
hasn't been
they just have a
exposed.
clean image online for now. But I definitely feel like if you don't like it, just to me, in a lot of cases, you just got to take a mental note. Like if you
Yeah.
don't want to, like, I just like, are you what? And then also, we got to stop doing stuff like this off of allegations because everything is not fact
Yeah.
just because somebody says it. And I mean, and this even goes for the Megan and Tory thing. Now, obviously, that's a little bit different, but I feel like people made people choose a side right away, and
Yeah.
we ain't know nothing. And I wish I had another case to use an example, but that's the one that's been grinding my gears for the longest. But I feel like if people pick a side based off what's available to them, that's between them and God. But
Child, I'll pick another case, the OJ and OJ case.
okay, yeah. So, and we know God darn well
Hmm.
OJ, allegedly did it. Let me protect myself. But even then,
Okay.
OJ is walking a free man walking the streets. And are y'all watch his interviews? Y'all entertain him. Y'all even include him in the conversations about another family that you also hate. So it's just like, what do you? Is death not as important? A lady died. Two
Yeah.
people died actually.
Yeah. They don't. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
weird. It's just selective. Like I don't know. It's like even when people try to compare, Lori Harvey, obviously she pop out with a different dude here and there. People was trying to say, what's the difference between Lori Harvey and Asian doll? A lot. Asian doll do too much. Number one. Let's
Wait.
start
What?
there. They
Who
trying to
would
say because they
who?
always got a
What?
new man. But Asian doll is so loud with everything is tacky and very unbecoming. So people like complain
Yeah.
about it because she's annoying.
It's a way that it's a way that you present yourself with a lot of different things that you know what I'm saying. You may can say they do the same thing as far as that, but Lori
It's the
isn't
overall
sloppy with
perception.
it.
Laura don't even talk. Y'all said
She don't
she was
say
dating that
nothing.
man.
She ain't even saying that. I
She
mean,
ain't
she
even see. She has
eventually
lately.
posted something, but
Yeah, but even then, it's
before,
like I don't know, man. I just want to declutter my brain with all this mess. I want to get to a point where I'm not that in tune with pop culture. I just want to live my regular life, me, my dog, and my acres for
oh,
real. Like
same. You know what? That's actually a goal of mine too. Like, I promise you, I really adore Khaleesi's life.
Oh yeah, living
I
on the
feel like
farm, editing her body in pictures.
yeah, yeah.
What's next? I'm like, girl, you're not even
But I
business. What is
love how
going
she
on?
just be like she does post on social media and she's not like you can tell that she's not fully invested. She has a life and she
Yeah.
just taps in because she wants to inform people about what she's doing and she's obviously proud of her farm and just how far it has come and how she's able to feed her family with food and meat that she
I know she
actually
got some
grew.
eggs.
For sure. For sure. Like I definitely want to buy a lot of some of her cooking stuff too, but I just love her life. I love how she's just off the grid and just kind of just not invested on what's going on for real in pop culture. That's why she was able to stand up for herself in this Beyonce thing because realistically, she probably don't even know the extent of what people be doing to defend Beyonce.
I give her a
But
partial pass because I don't like how she went about it, but I get it.
definitely, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think now I'm not saying that she was right, but it's commendable to stand up for yourself,
Hmm.
especially against somebody like that.
You right now. You
You
are
know what I'm
right
saying?
about that because I don't feel like Khalees lost any fans doing that. Like,
No, like I do think that I just feel like she is a person that's just like I don't care.
yeah,
Like
I feel you. Yeah,
this
you get
is
to a
just my
point.
feelings how I feel.
Your success isn't based on public opinion and contribution. You really make, and that's why I never want to be famous because they'll love you today, hate you tomorrow, man. Because they already trying to come for Glorilla. Like, dang. That's
Man,
why I
I
stood
seen the
beside the
tweet
fact
the
that I
other
ain't
day
like how
saying
she
she fell
raps.
off. I seen the tweet the other day saying she fell off. I'm like,
And people
how?
need to stop using that word fell off so loosely. Like sometimes people have an intent to do only one thing and fell off just because they're not getting posted on the shade room is not a measure of success. Because I think people say that
Yeah.
they think because they don't see you in the blogs and you're not relevant, but you don't even follow them. So how do you even know what they got going on? But yeah, now I ain't gonna lie, I always felt like her rapping wasn't the best, but I like her personality. She's really funny and I like her energy. But good luck to that queen. But and I'm not even trying to be funny, but I feel like people they give everybody this super hype and they fall down faster than usual. So what you gonna do?
hmm
But yeah, so one more thing. I'm gonna save it for next week because we're getting a little bit up there. But next week I want to talk about this clip I saw going viral on social media about basically this girl was saying like just because a man is a good man does not mean that he is the man for you. And I agree, but we don't have to get into it right now. But
Mm,
just keep that in mind and don't y'all listeners let us forget. Okay, okay. Now what you got coming
I
up?
play. What do I have coming up? Just life, honestly. I'm just trying to figure everything out. I have
Me
too much
too.
going on. So I don't really have any plans. Actually, I'm just taking everything day by day at the moment.
Okay, well, I'm getting my hair done this weekend. I'm taking some new headshots, some new professional headshots because I'm about to be 34 and I need to get rid of that picture I took with my iPhone back in 2018.
Why?
No, well, no, well, first of all, let me get some context. I always take my own professional headshots with my phone when a ring light, but I'm gonna have an actual photographer take some for me so that I can use them on my professional platforms like my LinkedIn, my work
Okay.
apps, and stuff like that, and just look cute. And I don't know if I'm doing anything for my birthday this year. I feel like I got way too much going on, and to even try to coordinate that to me seems pretty selfish. I also don't know if I'm moving anymore because these layoffs are getting pretty rapid. And the last thing I want to do
Whoa,
is
let me
give,
tell you something. Them layoffs is causing a lot of mess in all
yeah, and it's going to
areas.
continue to trickle down. It's not going to stop anytime soon. And I just thank God that I live in a place where when I first moved here, I was making significantly less. And so that if God forbid anything happens to my stability, but I know that I can afford it, even if I got to go out there and do Uber Eats, like I'm not too good at all. Don't did it before, I'll do it again. But I just don't want to increase my monthly responsibilities and debt and then be in a position where I lose it because I was, not thinking smart. But it's actually kind of scary. My company, we're not doing bad, but we're not doing as good as they expected. But this is the problem for a lot of people that might not understand. A lot of these companies saw extreme success when the pandemic hit. A lot of people were spending money using these services more than they ever had before. And these companies planned their future based off of that revenue. So they did all this crazy hiring, giving people whatever they asked for salary wise. And then everything starts to go back to normal and now they're losing those consumers or they're losing money and they're not even losing money to the point where the company's going bankrupt. It's just that they're not making the money they made last year, which is never happening again unless there's another kind of pandemic of some sort. And honestly, I don't believe even the behaviors we had in the pandemic can happen again, because I don't even think people can even be convinced to stay at home anymore. We passed that moment, you know. But the money that companies are making now, to me, is likely comparable to like 2019, but because they spent so
Hmm.
much money off of what they got in 2020 and 2021, now they got to dial it back. And so the result of dialing back is losing people that work for you, and nobody's job is recession proof. Nobody's job is 100% secure. I used to feel like my job in data was like secure and I'm not, I'm probably in a good place. But in reality, all they need is one or two people to do the bare minimum for that kind of work. And I am not an asset for them, honey. They just hired me. They can cut me just like they found me. But
I feel you. I,
but yeah, so I'm
well,
I'm actually really nervous about that. So I'm
even
super excited.
even the makeup artist is out here getting laid off, child.
Really? What? I don't get it. You got laid off?
Hmm.
Okay, you're gonna have to give me some context.
Give you a little context with it.
Oh, that's not funny. But yeah, man, I'm actually
It
kind of
is.
nervous. I
Why?
can't I can't flex, but I got a decent enough savings to keep me afloat, and I just hope the Lord that if I got let out, they give me a nice severance. Sometimes people get about 4 to 6 months worth of pay, and not that that's gonna keep me afloat for a long time, but it'll allow me to kind of figure something out, child. I don't care if I gotta go work at Starbucks. I am not too good for nothing, but I am too good to be homeless and poor again. So we're gonna make something shake by any means necessary.
I feel you.
For sure.
I
You
feel
dig what
you.
I'm saying?
Hmm.
But yeah, so back. I mean, I've already been a minimal spender, but I've been turning it up a little bit. So I'm trying to turn it back down and just eat my frozen veggies and pray for the best.
Yeah. I literally cook every day. I'm so proud of myself. I do wash dishes every day, which is annoying, but I
You
will
use a
say that
dishwasher or you
LA
hand
is very
wash?
um both. It
Yeah, me
depends on
too.
what mood I'm in, because I don't like to go to sleep with dishes in the sink. But if I'm like too tired to lift a finger, I'm putting in dishwasher, cut it on, and
I put
leaving it to
everything that's
God. Whatever.
possible in the dishwasher. Anything that's like a lot of my nonstick stuff cannot go in the dishwasher, but I use that thing. I don't let it stay. I do leave grocery. I leave dishes in the dishwasher overnight, but not more than 2 nights because it started to smell a little funky up in there. But stuff like my nonstick and like cast iron stuff, I have to do by hand. But you use less water by using a dishwasher. But I'm sure that's not a huge deal to you because your apartments probably pay for your water
I,
bill. My HOA pay for
I don't
mine,
pay
but
for water. I don't pay for water or lights.
oh, amen. Oh, really? Oh wow. Do you have
Mm-mm.
a gas stove?
Mm-mm. My light
Really?
bill
Dang. You
when I do have a light bill, it'd be like $14 for like 4 months. Like they send it every quarter.
wait, so does your
And if you
apartment
have
pay part of the bill or do you have I don't understand.
so I actually have one right here. This is old though. Um yeah, this is old, so I can't use this one as an example. But yeah, so they switch it up often. So at one point, we had to start paying a company, but that lasted all of like 3 months. It's so unorganized over here. But usually they just kind of add it on to our rent. So sometimes it's on there, sometimes it's not. So sometimes you get a light bill, sometimes you don't. But when they do give it to us, it only be like $14, ten
I wonder
dollars,
how that's
and
so.
I don't
That's
have
just
to
actually
pay
so
that
low.
because and I think it's just because I live downtown, because people out here have light bills and they be high.
Yeah. I like baby like
But
50, $40, $50 a month.
I don't even pay that because since I have like the state health care, they sign me up for everything, and they give you a based on your household. Like since I'm here, I don't have any kids or a spouse. They pay $40 of my light bill every month, but my light
National
bill don't even
government
be $40, so I
assistance.
don't pay nothing.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, there you go. Well, I mean, my
I
utilities are
wish they
pretty
paid my
low.
rent.
Okay, now you push it. Gotta have a baby. My Cobb County is pretty known for low utilities, so I'm thankful because honey, when I lived in DeKalb for that short period, I was paid enough in 5 months that I could have for 20
Oh,
years.
that show is. When I lived in
It's
Cobb, my light bill
crazy.
was cheap.
Yeah, cheap.
But I was
Uh,
what was the light company called out
Georgia
there?
Power.
I
It
didn't
was
have
Georgia
Georgia
Power.
Power on that road. What's the other
Oh, you
one?
had
Marietta
Marietta
Power.
Power. Yeah, same. I mean, not same
Hmm.
difference, but also very cheap. That's funny. Yeah, I forgot I lived in Marietta. But yeah, my light bill's
Hmm.
low. My gas, man, my light bill when I lived in Tucker, man, it would be like $120. And granted, my townhouse was big, but
What?
I had yeah, it's crazy. But now I pay like $40 a month where I live now, and I my gas bill is on. I bought a I secured a fixed rate with my gas company like 2 years ago, so I pay a flat fee of $50 a month, which I'm glad because it got so cold this winter that I know for a fact my gas bill would have been high, but. My water bill is included in the
Yeah,
HOA.
my light bill was high when I lived in the older house.
Oh, that could play a part. You know
It'd be
why?
like,
Sometimes insulation. So I have actually have a y'all know I talked about my window insulation last episode. So my bills could be a lot lower to be honest if I got new windows. But who about to spend 10 racks on windows quickly?
yeah, that's
Exactly.
insane. That's insane. Mm-mm.
Not in this climate, babes. We're gonna keep putting that plastic over. But anyways, all right. Well, I y'all pray for me for real, y'all. I got some stuff going on. Not personally, not within myself, but just some things that are you know things that I was assigned
Um,
at birth. Let's say that.
mm.
All right. Anyways, all right, y'all. It's been another episode of OD Podcast. Holla at your girl.
Holla at your swirl and holla at your big girly girl all over the world. I don't know what it
Bye.
was, but
Me either.
see ya.